Good afternoon. It's 4:18. It's the 21st of March, 2016. I am 57 years old, and in September will be 58. And on my face right now is face cream from hell. I never thought I would do this. But I discovered something. My skin is not as elastic as it used to be, and my skin is getting frail. What the hell is that? Who designed this whole system here? Who? It fails every time. You're born and then you die. I mean, it's so simple and plain like that. It makes me depressed. If you say that to your children, which I would not ever do that, it'll give them no reason to go on. I had an interesting conversation with Matt last night. His father is in his final days of life. He's 93 years old and a lovely man. I have always called him Dr.Jay. He was an English professor in Tennessee, and there he taught difficult students, jocks, who thought they should get A's and B's to be able to be on their team. He had the coaches come up to him many times and say, "Can you give so-and-so just an A or a B? It doesn't matter. The boy's just going to be playing sports anyway, so what does it matter if he just gets an A or a B and doesn't know how to spell or read?" Dr. J said, no. They're going to learn to spell and they're going to learn to read. And you can hate me all you want. But they're not going to be turning in papers about, "I got me a new hat. I forgets what my girlfriend said. Forgots? I cans do this. I asked. I don't know how they said. Anyway, it's an ask. What is going on? Really? Well, Dr. J in Tennessee was one of the few college professors that said absolutely not. You're going to learn how to read and write. His students really loved him. Some, they were annoyed by him. Some found him very amusing. He was a lovely man. His life was filled with, well, he's always been a character. When he was 17, he joined World War II without his parents' permission. It's true, he did. And he went in at age 17 into the army and was caught almost immediately by the enemy in Germany. Well, actually in France, sorry. Back then, what they did was they took the American soldiers, regular soldiers, and put them into one compound, and the Jewish Americans were put into with the other Jews. They starved my father-in-law, and I don't know how he lived. I've seen pictures of him. When the Americans came to rescue France, they rescued Jay along with many others, and they fed them. They couldn't eat a lot right away. Most of them would vomit. They were used to eating rats or their own feces. It was sad. Dr. J went home and told his mother that I deny God. Why would God do something like this? She told him that God had nothing to do with it, that an evil man did. He went on to go to school. He got his associates. Then he got his bachelor's and his master's and then his PhD. He always wanted to be a teacher, and he became one. Later in his life, a few years later, it was almost 40, he had got a wife. She was a young wife who was an actress, and she played in the movie Oklahoma. She was one of the gypsies there, dancing and singing. She even had a saying part. She was the first woman to be a pilot in her area. And so she flew her own plane. And as time went by, she bought her own airport. She was a fascinating woman. But soon, for whatever reason, she moved on. And Dr. J was left with 3 little kids to raise, ages 8, 6, and 3. He had a hard time raising his children, just as I did. I mean, when I had my kids and I had all these jobs, I would have them watch each other. I mean, that's exactly what would happen. And he did the same thing. And back then, it was legal to do that. And now, in the year 2016, it is illegal to leave that young child alone with younger siblings. Times changed. Jay kept on reading and had a philosophy all of his own. He's still alive as of today. He's a good man. And it doesn't matter what he remembers or who he does or doesn't. The point is, he's Dr. J. 93 years. And he's a wonderful man. He and I had so many philosophical talks. Who is God? Is there God? What if there is not a God? But what if there is? And we both came to the conclusion we're not going to know until we die. But one thing came to mind that was very interesting, and that was that when you die, either way, you're at peace. Heaven, your home, all the people you knew are young again, or there's nothing at all. So all expectations are nil and void. And I don't believe in a hell. I believe that earth, the world, is a hell. And that I believe. He raised an IT guy who is one of the best in the world. He raised another son who took IT and is okay. He raised a daughter who went to Brown University and became an attorney. He raised 3 very positive children with very positive relationships. Well, there is, man, we try, okay? Nothing's perfect. Speaking of perfection, I can feel the white cream going into my wrinkles and doing fluff up, fluff up, fluff up. Watch, I'll fluff up into a berry and then I'll go poof. So what is in today's lesson? 1, don't be so vain. And 2, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. And 3, when you're about ready to say goodbye to a loved one, you let them know. Within a year, you never know what's going to happen. You have to let people around you know when you're in pain, when you love, when you hurt, when you cry. But you have to tell people that you're alive and living your life. Good night, Dr. J. Sweet dreams, sweetie. Sweet dreams. You're my hero.